Hey everyone, I recently traveled to Los Angeles for a getaway with my family, and while I was there it happened to be alongside Comic-Con weekend, which was a few weeks ago now, yes, so I am uploading this later than usual, but I just got back home a few days ago. This is a belated video, but I had such an amazing time there with a brand new experience like this, I just had to share what I filmed because I knew that I would see some really cool stuff and that I would buy quite a lot. Americans have to understand New Zealand does not throw conventions like this. Our version of this is a lot smaller. It's maybe about the size of the current building that I'm in right now in the footage. I was amazed to be told that there are two different buildings. The convention is just that big that it's spread across the entire auditorium and it's separated into two different buildings. So the first room here was pretty chill despite the crowds here. The sort of thing I am used to, so it wasn't too much of an undertaking here. Most of the stalls sold bits and pieces, mostly artworks or plush toys, gaming goods and such. Nothing that really spoke out to me though. After looking around here for some time, my party then moved into the halls to get to the next room. We stopped off in the food court area quickly for some food. I bought a Coca-Cola that cost me $12 NZD. I nearly threw up after I checked my bank statements that evening, and this was where it started to get really overwhelming for us. The walking into a whole nother building, NZ just could not imagine doing this for a convention. The auditorium was completely packed full of costume people getting photos. It was all very impressive to see. I couldn't believe the amounts of people that were here, just absolutely impressive stuff on display. And then we entered the main building, which was at first incredibly daunting, but once we knew the layout it was easier to handle. It was a very big auditorium room, and we just didn't have the chance to see everything, unfortunately. What with having the talents doing hour-long panels that you do really want to see as well, and wanting to check out all the stalls, it made traversing and wanting to see everything really tough, so we had to kind of accept early on that we probably won't get to see everything. It does lead me to the first purchase of the day. I found a little stall selling World of Springfield figures. I managed to grab an Officer Marge and a Rod and Todd. They were $15 each. He said $25 for the two, that was 40 NZD, so 20 bucks each. I was okay with that. Tons of action figures were on display, all themes that I really wanted, but most of the stalls I felt were selling at regular prices. I wasn't too interested in spending above NZ retail price. By this point, the talents began moving onto the stage, and we spent some time listening to a lot of them. Karen Fukuhara and Erin Moriarty were a lot of fun to listen to, and this is where I have to say I think the NZ conventions do this whole panel thing a lot better. There was no room for anybody here, and it was pretty much just all standing room. Ideally, we would be able to sit down and rest our feet a bit, but there were maybe 50 seats reserved for just regular people. The rest of the seats were for VIP people only. And even then, you had way more people here than they could accommodate to sit down. It was just crap, really. They really needed to find a much better space to have these panels and offer a bit more seating rooms for some people. Because the panels were overstuffed with people, they kind of ended up bleeding into the walking areas. It just caused traffic jams for everyone. It became a problem because at this point, our feet are just killing us. We had already racked up a really big step count, but we wanted to look around a bit more, so we started wandering around the stalls, a couple of Lego displays, some statues of some comic characters and more. And then I didn't film too much of this stand. It was a smaller personalized one, but they had a box of figures just in bags. One of them was Cad Bane from the Black Series 2-pack, and also Kazim from the Indiana Jones line, so I bought those two instantly. I was really happy with those purchases. Made our way back to the main stage here to see Matt Smith for just a few minutes. He wasn't on stage for too long, so it was really easy to catch his discussion. There were a bunch of girls all around us that just began convulsing immediately as soon as he walked on stage, easily the biggest reaction that I witnessed to any of the talents coming out on stage. He seemed pretty chill. We actually decided to just stick around a little while because the Hobbits were up next. The irony that I, a Kiwi-born fan, had to travel outside my country 12 hours to see these guys was my party's main topic of discussion for quite a bit. They were really great. They really know their stuff about this place, which was awesome because we were kind of starting to feel a little homesick. They were mentioning stories that they had about the town of Twizel. It's like a 4-hour drive from my house. It's really crazy to hear people talk about something like that when you're so far away from home at that time. I made sure to film just how many people ended up crowding around for these guys. They genuinely blocked the entire walking space nearby and in my eyes caused quite a hazard if I'm honest. They made sure to mention it even.
Is this like going to clog up the whole convention right now? I mean, this looks like, oh God, there's a lot of you.
So we wandered around a little bit more because they were on for a little while longer than the others. We went back to the auditorium to see how everything was going. Sure enough, still really busy. Less busy than when we first entered though. We made our way back to see the Ahsoka cast come out and speak, which was also really nice. They had some really great stories to tell. And we managed to get 2 out of the 50 seats available for the peasants like us who didn't pay for VIP, so we decided to stay for the entire thing. Spending the time resting our feet, listening to the actors discuss stuff, considering the money that we had just spent on Coca-Cola, and thinking about how this is going to make the NZ conventions that we go to very hard to take seriously now. And then we left. Half of our party took off earlier to go and explore the city while they still had the afternoon sunlight. We needed to meet back up with them, and the crowds were naturally incredibly big because it was now closing time for the convention and everyone was taking to the streets. I only just realized now while I'm editing this and watching it all back, I didn't film buying everything. It was a pretty stressful day, so not having that footage does make for a rough toy hunt video, but I did remember to film an overall haul video. So 2 bags worth total. This is me back at the apartment. A McFarlane Arya Stark that I think I paid $5 USD cash for, no tax, so it was around $8 NZD total. Next with the Simpsons purchase, we covered those already. This is the Hasbro purchase, we covered those already. Also, neither of which were sold in NZ, by the way, so that just added to my desire of wanting to buy these guys. The final purchase here, and my favorite purchase, was the NECA Pinhead. I tried to buy him at release, but he was 70 NZD when it came out here. The guy wanted 35 USD, he lowered it to just 30 on the spot. That's 48 NZD in total. A pretty great time overall at the LA Comic Con. We were out the entire day for every day that we were away this trip. This was like 15 days of 25k steps a day. The entire trip was really tiring, but we were able to go on a couple of other toy hunts across some Targets, a GameStop or two even, a little bit of time spent at the Universal City Walk and Downtown Disney to check out and compare their Hasbro figure stock and insane egregious prices that some of these places charge. We also made sure to make a trip out to Frankinson's even, so if you would like to see some of those toy hunting videos, do stick around for those over the next few weeks. Thank you very much for watching this video.